Today's CCNA term of the day is administrative distance, or AD. And administrative distance is the believability of a routing source. Let's say that we've got a router and it wants to go to network 10.1.2.0/24, but it's getting conflicting information about how to get there. Maybe there's a static route that says go to this next hop address. There's an OSPF route that says go to a different next hop address. And meanwhile, EIGRP is saying go to yet another next hop address. Who do we believe? Well, it comes down to the lowest administrative distance. And here's a table on screen that shows the AD for various routing sources. Notice that we don't get more believable than being directly attached to the router. A connected route, that has an AD of 0. Coming in a close second, if an administrator has taken time out of their day to manually configure a route, that's probably pretty believable. So a static route is going to have, by default, an AD of 1. Now, I say by default because we can do something pretty clever with a static route. We can do something called a floating static route. And maybe I've got this backup path that will get me to my destination, but I only want to use it if my main connection fails. In other words, if I'm still learning a route via OSPF to get to that network, I want to use that route. But if that OSPF learned route ever disappears from my routing table, then I've got a backup. What we can do is create a static route and give it an artificially high administrative distance, like 200. So if the router knows how to get to that destination network via OSPF with an AD of 110, and my static route that I've set the AD to 200, it's not going to use my static route unless the OSPF route disappears. Then my floating static route can kick in. But let's say we've just got a couple of dynamic routing protocols, EIGRP and OSPF, and they're both telling us different ways to get to a destination network. Who do we believe? Well, we're going to go with the lowest AD, which in this case would be EIGRP with an AD of 90 as compared to OSPF with an AD of 110. And that's a look at the believability of a routing source that we call administrative distance.